In 1923, they dug up the bones of the real Pocahontas, and I'm mad about it, and I think you should be too. In 1617, Pocahontas, her husband and her son were on a ship on the Thames sailing back to America after a trip to London. Now, sadly, Pocahontas dies on board and ends up being buried here at the church in Gravesend outside of London. Now, she is buried with honours as a gentleman's wife in the chancel, but sadly, in the 18th century, that church burns down and all of the records are lost. Now, we don't know exactly where the chancel stood. So in 1923, a couple of guys decide that they are going to try and find the body of Pocahontas. Now, one of them is from the British Museum. His name is Pycraft. And one of them is a surgeon like myself. His name is Sir Arthur Keefe. And leading the party is an American archaeologist called Edward Gaston Page. Now, the approach that these three take to finding her body is thread with a very thick thread of colonialism. So Pycraft is kind of quoted as saying he's just going to be able to look at a skull and tell that she's not Caucasian. Arthur Keefe has all of these eugenicist belief. And basically, they do not do what I call the King Richard treatment, which is great scholarship. They literally just dig up everyone in the graveyard. I'm talking no one's body is kept together. They are literally hauling skulls out of the ground with no reverence whatsoever. If your great aunt's in there, she's not in one piece anymore because they are taking one skull, and there's literally some article which says that they all sat and had afternoon tea on a gravestone whilst there were all these skulls around them. So what has effectively happened here? I can't find any record that if they found Pocahontas, what they did with the body. I suspect she got reburied. You can check out my long form if you're interested. But effectively, no one has been reburied in the same format as they were laid to rest, including Pocahontas. And what's really frustrating about this, and why I'm mad about this, and I think you should be too, is what we saw with King Richard III was really great scholarship meant that we could find King Richard in a place that was way more difficult to get to and unlikely than, we know that she's in that churchyard somewhere up until 1923, and she would be in one piece. These three guys are just tomb raiders, and they have gone straight in, dug everyone up with absolutely no consideration, and then just, I can only assume because I can't find any more information, basically reinterred them in a mass grave. And, she was buried with better honours than that, and she deserved better than that. And I am annoyed about this. This feels like, this just feels like such a violation of all of those people in that churchyard, not just Pocahontas. Now, if I have made a long form video on YouTube, if you're interested in this, if you're interested in my other tomb videos, Charles, Henry and Byron, they're also on YouTube. And I always love to see your comments. Please do tell me if this winds you up as well, because it's been winding me up for about 3 weeks now.